Hello viewers, welcome back to Born IT System, and in today's lesson we're gonna be learning Ionic, Vue.js, Angular, and Node.js backend. But what I would wanna like to start is with the Angular um, overview. And here in Ionic, Angular combines the core Ionic experience with the tooling and APIs that are tailored to Angular developers. Angular version support in Ionic, we support the current support for Ionic's version 7, which supports Angular version 14 and up. As part of their upgrade strategy, Angular has built-in tooling to help automate upgrades and provide feedback to developers whenever changes to an API occurred. This reduces update friction and keeps the ecosystem in evergreen state. So in that, we have build options in Ionic Angular. Basically, we have the standalone components and the modular way, which used to be that way when those days I used to build uh, Ionic Angular application. So developers have two options for using Ionic components. They have the standalone or the modules. This guide covers only the standalone component, and we don't cover the modular option because I'm switching to go to more of the component or standalone component instead of using the modular style. While standalone approach is newer and makes use of more modern Angular APIs, the modular approach will be continue to be supported. You can use it. Maybe you are building a multi-tier application, maybe a dashboard or something like that. But for me, I have settled on standalone because it gives me control of what I need to be in my code, like the Ionic icons, or in Angular, I can call only what I need to use, like ngIf or ng4, all those things, so that I don't need to bundle everything. And that one makes my code more smaller and portable to smaller devices. So let's look at Ionic tooling. With the Ionic 4 Plus, the official Angular stack for building an app and the routing are used. So your app can fall in line with the rest of the great Angular ecosystem. In cases where more opinionated features are needed, Ionic provides Ionic Angular Toolkit, which builds and integrates with the official Angular CLI and provides features that are specific to Ionic Angular apps. So you can, if you want to read more, you can go to ionicframework.com, and there's a documentation of everything we just talked about. And here you can see overview and all those things. But we're gonna start with this Ionic Angular, and I have been a developer with Ionic for, I would say, since 2015, when it started with just Angular JS only. They were supporting Angular JS. And then we came a long way when Angular changed to just Angular. And then now they have support for Vue.js, they have support for React.js, and all those framework, or you can just build a JavaScript component and use it instead of using any of these frameworks. I'm talking about Angular, Vue.js, or React. But for me, I have been specifically involved in Angular and Vue because those are the frameworks I use. You can look on some tutorials if you want to use React.js. So here, what we want to basically build is, I have a site. Friend of mine is a DJ, and I want to make a site to allow uh, him to kind of upload musics for DJ and write some articles about where the event's gonna be occurring. And then I will add on a shop that maybe will be uh, used as they can sell their products on the shop. So in the first scenario, we're gonna be using Ionic Angular. Then after we do the initial build, we're gonna have to bring in this mockup I have for the shop, the look and feel it has. Then I'm gonna add some mobile enhancement to make it more usable on your mobile application or any platform they are using it. So the first thing I will do, I will go to my GitHub account, and this code will be available there. And then I'll just create a new repository. I'm gonna call it Ionic Angular Shopping. That's it. Then I'll just say um, Ionic. Let's call BJ. Let's call BJ sample shopping. To copy this, I'm looking for a nice name. Ionic Angular. Ionic Angular. Ionic framework. Angular shopping cart. Node.js backend. Got this one. I'll bring in later. I need it to be just a public repository. Now I'll just include the initial um, as the I'll include the initial readme file, and then you can see I'll just leave these other things to be the same thing. So I'll do, and then just come here. Yeah, I'll just leave it first for that. You can see the code here, or I can get the URL to the repository. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come here in my workplace and just do that and put it in command line there. So I cd into that um, folder on my work directory. Then I'll come and just copy this. You can use HTTP or CHL, you can use GitHub CLI. But for simplicity, I'm just using that HTTPS. That's what I'll do. Then I just gonna do clone this repo, git clone. But I have Git already installed in my computer. If you haven't, you can install it. I will write another lesson to show how to install Git, but it should be easy. So now we have Git installed, and now we have that project there. I can comfortably cd in. No, I should do that. Cd into that. Okay, the ls is not available because of that. But if you come here, we can see we have Ionic, this guy, Ionic Angular shopping cart, which resembles our shopping, our repo here, which is public there. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to create a new, actually we need to, yeah, this one is already there. So what I'm gonna do, need to initialize a new project with that. I know this guy gonna override my project, but anyways, let me just do this. Since I have Ionic already installed, if you don't have Ionic installed, so we're gonna start creating a new app. Start please on your command line. If you don't have Ionic, just come into your command line and do npm install -g at Ionic CLI, and then it will install Ionic on your computer as a global dependency. You can see here -g means global, but since I have it, I think I can check it. This Ionic dash version, I have it already. It should show up here. Let's see if that one command will give us anything. Oh, it's taking too long there. I don't know what's wrong. But that one should give you the Ionic version. Yeah, I have it. Version 7.20. So now we go to this, um, which we have Ionic already, so I don't have to install it. What I'm gonna do, I know this gonna override this project, so I don't wanna do that. So what I'm gonna do as a shortcut, I'm gonna just go inside that folder, and I'm gonna start a new Ionic app, but I'm gonna call it a different name. Then I will copy the folders back into the my main repo folders. So inside my repository, which I just cloned, I'm gonna create a project there. So I will take this one here, copy, paste it on my command line, then I will call this project a simple shopping cart. I will copy over those files once I need it to be a blank. So I'm starting a new Ionic blank application, and the type needs to be Angular. And I want to install capacitor. Capacitor is very important because, guys, it gives us some of the native stuff that we can use in our application. Like if you are developing a map application or a GPS application or a camera, and you want to access native camera features, capacitor will really help you. And also it has the tooling for Android and iOS. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come here and start a new Ionic. So I just hit enter, and it should take itself. I don't know how it's gonna take. Sometimes it takes long to install. Yeah, now you see it's asking me Would you like to build your app with ng modules or standalone components? Standalone components are a newer way to build with Angular that simplifies the way you build your app. And the standalone, the reason why I like it, to give us the same features now we have in Vue.js or React, where you don't have to go in. But if you like the ng module, you can go that route. But since last time I used it, or since last year in November, I started building with standalone, and also I find it to keep my application more clean, and I started converting all my applications to standalone. So I selected standalone, and now you can see everything is just there. Ionic is working on. It's working on. So there we go. Downloading and extracting blank, and we are there. Ionic integration enabled capacitor, shopping cart. Now we are in that. We see that capacity calculated. It's doing something there. That's it. So the project gonna download everything we need. Then once we are done, uh, we're gonna have the Ionic project name, completely pre-built application. Then the next thing we need to move on is just to CD into our project, which we are already CD in. It's just that I'm building the initial Ionic project inside that folder, and then I will copy back the file inside there because I didn't want to overwrite what I have in my main folder there. So that's why I'm doing that. And then after that, next we will need to install the necessary capacitor plug to make the app more the app's native functionality. That's what I was telling you. Like we're gonna install the camera, maybe we want in our shopping cart we can upload a picture from a mobile phone when we are posting a new product. Maybe we just find a new product and we want to post it from a phone. Then we need to enable some progressive web application elements in our application. Then yeah, that's it. We need to do, then we can have our initial application up and working. But I'm telling you, even if without doing all this, still I can bring up the app and it's gonna be working. It seems to be frozen there. I don't know what's going on, but it says an error occurred while running capacitor latest exit with the exit code that. So it seems we didn't get to get the capacitor stuff downloaded. Just don't know. It usually takes time sometimes to do it. Just don't know why. Yeah, sometimes just for this. I will do what? Overwrite yes or no. You know what? I'm gonna just say no. Not erasing existing. So I didn't install the capacitor. What I needed. So let me do that and that. Let me try to do yes. Yes, preparing directory. And see here this progress here. Let's see if it's gonna do something. Seems my console is just not working as the way I expect it to work, but let's see if we can get something out of it. You can see the project is being created there. You have the node modules, the source. It's just I'm not getting all the tooling stuff I need for this project. Let's see. Seems to be having some progress there. Then now I come to that again. Let me see if I get some of the initial stuff. I won't really care too much. What I'm gonna do, I will stop it. Yeah, I got some most of the stuff I need. Have the source, and I had some Node.js stuff. I think that's where it was taking time to install the parsed. So it's running this command line to get the capacitor latest stuff. Let's see if it can get it on time. It may take a long time sometimes, especially if you are doing NG modules. I wish I would have just said, you know what, I don't want capacitor now, but I will install it later. But I can stop it and restart it and see how it goes. But for me, I think, and that's what is preventing it not to install the Node.js modules that we need to run this project. So if we go here, you have that. Oh, there we have some node modules. And I think I can just terminate it and continue with that. I will install capacitor core latest later. But I can start going through the file so you understand. So there we got some node modules. Seems some things are coming in. There we got our package.json file, which you can see we have the Angular animations, we have common, and I see some more stuff coming there. We have Angular common 17 and the standalone are being supported in Angular 14 and up. Anything below that? No. You can see here we are looking good. And core forms, we have the browser stuff, we have Angular router, our Ionic Angular, we have Ionic icons. So there you go. We have the RxJS, which is being used for subscription stuff. We're gonna learn about that. It's just the dependent stuff that are needed. These are for building uh, the dev dependence just locally for building. So when we bundle our project, don't go this. And the other thing you need to remember, Angular supports only TypeScript. So you can see there we have TypeScript 5.22. And see here. Then they use Jasmine for testing, but I prefer using Cypress framework for testing. See, the Angular, Ionic Angular toolkit. I don't know it's done or not yet. We are still there. I think we are having an issue installing the capacitor stuff. You see, I don't see them there. What I'm gonna do, I might have to stop it, and then next time before we continue with the lesson, I'll just go ahead and first of all install the capacitor stuff by themselves, and then uh, by its own, and then we can continue with the way we have stopped. But this one gives us something to do now. If I open another command line here quickly, just want to show you the initial project, and even something is going on here. Something is going on here, seems some freezing or whatever for some reason. You know what, I'm gonna just stop it. Yeah, it's freezing up, so I'm gonna stop that, and I will deal with capacitor on its own. Well, before we start a new project, And you have to understand this is what usually happens when you are developing a project. Sometimes things freezes up and all those stuff. So I'm not just a person to come here and show you, hey, here we have an app, and you just go and copy the code and enjoy. You have to understand what you go through and develop. Sometimes the computer just wanna do anything and just says this one here, my console doesn't wanna work. I don't know what happened. Ouch. It seems in general even the computer by itself is just freezing up. Let me see this one will work. I can do Ionic serve. Let's see if that one works. Okay, it's asking for Ionic CLI. I do have it. Ionic serve. You can see Energy is not recognized as blah blah. Looks like I isn't installing this project. Yeah, I think this project is missing some of the stuff. What I will do, I will um I will stop here, and next time when we meet, I will be able to install this stuff as a continuation while we look into getting the other stuff being installed and deploying this project and seeing how it works and pushing the code to Bitbucket so that we can track the releases of our code. And that's all for today, viewers. And thank you for watching this channel. And let's continue next time from where we just left. See you, and make sure to subscribe.